again. See if that got it. Okay, there we go. Now it looks like it's up and running on YouTube. That's good. Okay. Yeah, all that stuff seems to be working. So for YouTube, I guess I gotta say it again. I'm editing lightsabers right now. I need to make it go back. I'm in Adobe After Effects, so this is like a computer program that I use to edit stuff. And the way you gotta go about editing lightsabers is going through frame by frame, which in this case I'm skipping a couple frames because it's very little movement. But you go frame by frame and adjust every single point to match up. And you gotta remember there's 30 frames in a second, and a lot of lightsaber things, if it's like fast movement, I'll film in 60 FPS. So 60 frames per second, and it's taking like 10 seconds per frame. That adds up very quickly in time. That's why a lot of people dislike editing lightsabers. But at the same time, editing lightsabers is like one of the most basic VFX shots you can do. And so, compared to like CG work, it is insanely quick. And so, for like me, someone who doesn't do CG, this feels like a time-consuming video effect. And then for someone who does do CG, this feels like a very easy, not time-consuming VFX like shot. And it's really interesting the dynamic between people who do this all the time and people who don't. And I'm not even sure if you were to pay me, I do a lot of outdoors work in the summer. I'm not sure if I'd rather like work outdoors for 8 hours or do this for 8 hours, just because of how mind-numbing this can be compared to working outdoors. Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of rambling to fill the time, because it's good to like stream whenever you're doing stuff that's kind of like slow paced. Like if I'm building a building in Minecraft, and I'm not gonna like turn that into a full video because it's kind of boring just to have a building being built. But it is good to live stream so people can kind of watch it be built up. But it's a little bit hard to fill the time for stuff that's really boring, because I just gotta make up stuff. I guess I gotta start telling some stories. So this video is a May 4th video, because every May 4th I've made a video for a couple years now, and they've just progressively gotten better. But because of like the way the lore of the first video was, as you stack up newer videos, when the first video's lore was very bad, you have to try to build something good off of really bad lore and a very bad story that you start on. And it makes it a lot harder to try to tell a compelling story when you're starting so low. And so I've had to put some work in trying to make a story work, even though it's starting off on bad lore. I'm just not going to add to it very much. And then I think this might be the last year before I kind of reset the universe that this all takes place in. I may even, maybe not even reset it, but just like kind of forget about it, just because there isn't much more I can do with it. But I'll see how it goes. One idea I have for next year is, instead of, which I play Luke because it's just me and a couple friends, and so there's me right there. And so in the future, instead of being like the normal stuff I do, where I'm Luke and I'm the main character, I think I might make it where I'm still Luke, but it's like I'm old and I train someone up the correct way, not how Disney did it, but like how Luke should have been when he's old, where even if he does like decide someone's untrainable or unsavable, it's not for the same reason. Because my biggest problem with Disney, and a lot of people's biggest problem with like the way they did Luke, was because it's okay if he gives up on a person who he doesn't think's good fit for the Force, but like his biggest character trait is that Luke was simply like compassionate. He didn't give up, and he had like that hope, even in, like sometimes it'd be bad for him because of how much he hoped in people. And then Disney kind of made it where the exact opposite. He thought someone was unsavable, so he just like tried to kill them in their sleep, which is just not Luke. That made a bunch of people mad. And so I'm gonna do it better than that. Even if he like turns on someone, I don't think it should be that Luke just finds the person untrainable in the Force. I'd rather make it be like, not that untrainable. It's like he tries, even though he sees the warning signs that maybe they are starting to turn more Sith-like. He like warns them, but then he keeps on trying to train them, until eventually they rebel against him and like force him to fight back. And so he nearly kills them, but not quite. And then that starts like the relationship where like he can't trust himself to train others. So he goes away to like some island in the sequels, because after he thinks like he's a failure, he can't train up people. He's not good enough for it. He goes away where he's not gonna hurt anybody. So instead of it being it the way he did it, or as Marvel did it, he still can run away, but it's because he didn't give up on people that made him feel insignificant. Like, well, he doesn't give up on the person, and that's what leads to the bad stuff happening. And then he doesn't want to hurt anybody, so he moves away. So it's not selfish and still fits his character. Let's go back over to YouTube. Nothing there. I'm fine. Okay. Then, yeah, there's really not much happening on the lightsaber front. I don't need to do much for this. It's kind of boring. Just get that in place. Yeah. I feel bad that I'm not posting as much or streaming as much as I'd like. But it's kind of, I just can't right now. I just have to accept that for a little bit while I'm doing all this editing, stuff's just not going to get streamed like it normally will be. Which is kind of bad to start on that when my channel is kind of new to Twitch. My YouTube channel is kind of older, so I don't think people have high expectations of like consistent posting stuff. But on Twitch, when I'm just getting started, it's kind of bad to show a bunch of random and boring stuff right off the bat, when normally it's not going to be like this. Which I'm a little bit earlier than I normally stream. I usually stream starting at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Like right on it at 9 or 10. Or maybe not 9 and 10. It's like, well, it's usually right on like a certain hour mark, just to make sure that it's consistent. And then if you don't see it around that mark, you can probably wait to the next hour. If it's still not streaming, then I'm probably not going to start streaming that night. That's what I want it to be, so it's at least consistent and people know what to expect. But not really sure. Let's see here. I'm already at 18 minutes. It takes a long time. I'm almost done with this shot, so this one's nice and easy because there's just not hardly any movement. But you can see, if I was doing every frame instead of every other frame, and I had to move these dots a whole bunch, it would take easily 6 or 7 times as long. And I'm not even done yet. And then when you got like all together, like a lot of the times, like I edited this one thing for a video that hasn't come out yet that's gonna be posted on BC Productions, my channel that I share with my friend named Brax. When I edited lightsabers for that shot too, and for that one, it took so long. I think I got like 40 something hours in altogether on editing, because there was like 9 shots, and it just took forever because there's 2 lightsabers in it, and on top of there being 2 lightsabers, there was like a lot of collisions, a lot of all sorts of crazy movement, and so you can easily get up into like full work weeks, and like on top of school, like I had school that week, and I still got 20 hours in 1 week on top of school. 20 something hours, and then over the next 2 weeks I got the other like 20 in as I started getting more burnt out. But it was insane, which like probably about 10 of the 20 hours in 1 week came from the weekend, and then the rest was like off and on, like 2 hours a night. I think it was something like that. No matter what, it's too much. If I did this for like a full-time job, I'd start actually going insane. But luckily, I balance it out with my school life and social life. I also work out and stay fit, so I'm okay. But I don't know how people do stuff this boring for like a full-time job. And that's what kind of concerns me, because I'm starting to plan out, I'm about to go to college, and I'm not really sure if I'm ready. I'm not sure what I'm going to do once I go to college for posting on streams. I should just be commuting, so I probably will still just post every night. Just not really has much time to stream. Let's see, how's that look? So it's tracked all the way there, and I can go from here, collapse that down. So we're at 20 minutes, and I only edited a little bit whenever I started streaming. So there we go. So that's what we get. However long this segment is. That's what 20 minutes of work gets you. And then on top of that now, it's going to add more time. Oops. But this is the fun part. 1, 2, 3, 4. The feather thing. So then we're going to go like 3. Probably about 10. 30. 60. And then 120. And it's already starting to look pretty good. But then I get to go layer, new, solid. Go all black. Okay. Put that under there. And now I got this right here. It's like realistic looking light. And it's just a little bit opening. I can collapse that. Pre-compose. Okay. Open it back up. Blending mode. Screen. And now it's just one piece right here. So I get up and I hold it right next to his throat. Lightsaber. And that's all it is. So that's what you get. 22 something. And then you're gonna go over to curves. Drag and drop that onto that. And since this is a blue lightsaber, because it's Luke's right here, which it was Anakin's to begin with, but Luke's lightsaber, his first lightsaber. We can get that nice color going. But you can decide if you want it to be like brighter or dimmer. I just want it to be a little bit brighter like that. Oops, not going to do that. And then I'm going to take out, I'm trying to grab this one. I want to take out some of the blue to give it a slightly different color and bring up some of the green. And I like how that looks. Maybe you bring the red up a little bit. But then we got this nice looking lightsaber. And then one thing you can do that's more of an option is duplicate it, but don't worry, it's not going to end up looking like that. And then take those way on down, turn that into motion blur, and then go to transform and turn the opacity way down. And just like that.
3, 2, 1.
That's what you get.
3, 2, 1.
Oh man. And that's why it takes forever edging lightsabers. Because when you got 2 of these, you gotta go every frame. You got a lot of movement. This stuff takes forever. And this is like the easiest shot I got. So that's why I did it for this video. Because I don't want to be streaming for multiple hours at a time. Or not multiple. I don't want to be streaming for like 4 or 5 hours nonstop. Because I'm going to get interrupted by that time. But I mean, it looks really good. It looks really fluid. And so it's not bad. I like it. I might add a little bit of sparking on my own, in my free time. If I decided that if I need some sparks there. But I probably won't. So I'm going to go ahead and render this out. But I'm not going to do that in camera. So, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, remember, God loves you. And goodbye.